Hello, my fine friends, and welcome to A Spot of Positivity. My name is Rosalie, and I like to talk about things and try to keep the hope alive in people that are watching. And it's Monday, so we're going to do a little call it Move It Monday. So I usually talk about something to do with diet or exercise, but as it is also Canadian Thanksgiving weekend, I thought I would talk a little bit about what I made for Thanksgiving dinner. And maybe you find it interesting and maybe not, but hopefully I have a few little tips in there and how to enjoy stuff and stay calm and all that kind of thing. So it's a bit of a cheat. I'm not really talking about diet exercise, but it is a little bit of diet in there thrown in. Once in a while we need to feast. I have friends that are even vegans throughout the year, and then they have a bit of meat and stuff on a feast day. You don't need to do that. You can actually have quite creative vegetarian or vegan food, but it's possible to indulge a little bit on holidays and things. So we had some people over, just our small family and a very other small family, and I thought a lot of fun, and so I thought I would just do a little explanation of what I had, and maybe you'll find it interesting and maybe not. But so as my family are meat eaters and I did not feel like making a whole turkey, we bought a chicken breast roll that had cheese and ham and halloumi and bacon all rolled into it, which I did not have because I'm kind of being vegetarian right now, and also some chicken legs, and so that was great for kind of the meat thing that makes it kind of special. I roasted some potatoes. What I do for roast potatoes, and maybe people have different ways of doing this, but it works so well every time. I just chopped them up. I did not peel them because that's a lot of extra work. Chopped them up. I boiled them till they were tender, not completely mushy boiled, and then drained them, kept them nice and dry, tossed them in olive oil and baked them, and then they go crispy and they're very nice. Of course, you can use other kinds of oil for that and goose fat and stuff, but that works very well for me. Now, I had cauliflower, and I've just discovered this year the very delightful taste that a roasted cauliflower will have. I honestly used to dislike cauliflower. I really just didn't like it. I chop it up very, very small, like a thumb, like the top of your thumb, and the stalk as well, but not the very hardest part. But the leaves I chopped up separately. But the white parts, the florets, I tossed those in olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic powder. Actually, this time I just put just cloves of garlic in there, roasted amongst it. You can put whatever herbs and spices, but I made this very, very simple, with a little bit of salt and pepper. Roasted that for about 45 minutes. It's delicious, really, really nice, and my kids even have seconds of that. That's my other little tip. Very good. And actually what I did, because I didn't want the greens to overcook, so I just sauteed them in a pan with a little bit of butter, and when I took the cauliflower out of the oven, I tossed the leaves in there as well, so that was quite nice. That's really always good. I had made dinner rolls, so I did them the night before and had them ready. I actually I managed to get it so that I could stay calm and not stressed, because I started working on that early on the Sunday morning, and just kept on going through until it was done. And I've started a new way of making iced tea, which for me is herbal tea. Like it was a pomegranate tea, and I just make 1 cup of it with 2 bags in it and let that really steep brew for a while, and then put that in a jug with sugar to taste, fill it up with water and ice, and a good scoosh of lemon juice, and that is a really delicious, refreshing kind of iced tea. We still have hot weather here, so it's not a traditional cold weather Thanksgiving that maybe you used to, but that was really good. We also had just a few vegetables, and I made a nice coleslaw. And my secret of a nice coleslaw is whatever you have in the fridge, cabbage, red onion, carrot, and I take the red onion and I pickle that kind of. I put it in some vinegar so it takes off the sharpness, and my dressing has got mayonnaise and yogurt and a little bit of honey in it, salt and pepper, and again I taste it and make sure it tastes nice. So that works every time, and actually everyone likes it in my family. It's the combination of yogurt and mayonnaise. That is very simple, but it works very well. Now, we had no cranberry sauce, so I've got a very dark plum jam, homemade plum jam, which I put on the table instead, and it was a good accompaniment for the chicken. Now, this is what I wanted to say about that really, really worked well. A few years ago, I found Jamie Oliver's Make Ahead gravy, and it was a great thing. And obviously, I was not making this ahead because it was on the day, but there are some things about his gravy that worked very well, even on the day while the chicken was roasting. I fried up some onion, some carrot. I put a couple strips of bacon in there, bay leaf, some mixed herbs, and just toss that, just in a pan for a while. And what you're meant to do is take some kind of cheap bit of chicken or something, like a chicken wing or something like that, and roast it, but I didn't have time to do that. So I took some just chicken stock cube. It's a cheap, but it worked really well. And a bit of wine I had in the fridge, just whatever it was, I don't even know, it's the bottom of a bottle of wine, a little bit of that in there, and also a bit of this plum jam. Oh my goodness, did it ever taste good. So I sauteed that, and then I added like the wine and the cranberry plum jam, and a bit of water, and let that just cook for a while the meat was roasting. And then even at that time it tasted absolutely delicious. But with I just drained it afterwards, and saved the vegetables and stuff and bacon for another time. I'll probably put that with some rice. It's in the fridge. But poured some water over it, put it back in the pan, put a little bit of flour with some cold water, and mix it together, threw it in to thicken it, and with the drippings from the actual bird, it was really, really good. It was a rich gravy right away. And I mean, I can put a gravy together out of what, the stuff in the oven, but sometimes it takes a bit of time at the end, and I didn't want to take that time. I wanted to have it all ready at the same time. So I would recommend that. It worked really, really well. Based on, Jamie's Make Ahead gravy. He roasts that all in the oven, but I didn't have time, so I wasn't doing that ahead of time. But it was kind of make while you wait gravy, I guess. And for dessert, the pièce de résistance, I made a pumpkin cheesecake. And here in Cyprus, Philadelphia cream cheese is quite expensive, so I used a local cheese which is called anari, and it's actually a byproduct of when they make halloumi cheese here. So I used that. It's a little bit like ricotta, and pumpkin here, they call it pumpkin, but it's actually butternut squash. Works very well, just like a pumpkin would. When I mashed the pumpkin, I actually put the cheese in there at the same time, so that it got rid of the kind of granular texture of the NRE cheese, which is a bit like, a bit like cotta, or a bit like cottage cheese, but dry. And it turned out really, really well. So there's a lot of substitutions there, like the ricotta or NRE instead of cream cheese, the butternut squash instead of pumpkin, and the plum sauce instead of cranberry sauce. But I tell you, if you're a little creative with what you have, you can make things work. So that is basically what I wanted to say. Even in this feasting kind of thing, you just have a little bit. You don't have like gorging amounts, and you don't feel bad after the meal. You don't feel like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to not eat for 3 days afterwards. I just had a bit on my plate and ate it and enjoyed it, and I found that I was still able to finish the meal and feel like I've not, I don't have a Thanksgiving coma or anything. So that was a little bit of Canadian Thanksgiving inspiration and ideas on how to be resourceful. Hope you enjoyed it. Please click like and subscribe. Love to see you on my channel more.